right. So we gonna go ahead and get into this. Yes, my team got dog walk.
Yo, that chat was silent up until today when I started putting links in
First, shout out to my lady Gamecocks. They went to the chip.
Yeah, I told you.
UConn
I told you.
I called my mom and they were like, we're recovering from that beating because yes, they did. Them
Twice
girls,
they beat them by 30.
Them girls went to the Gamecocks ass.
Twice.
Girl Fudd, what's her name?
Azzi Fudd.
Yeah, boy, she let y'all
Fudd around and find out.
Yeah,
She was, and it wasn't just Paige. What it was this.
That young lady Strong. She's from North Carolina.
Strong too.
She's from North Carolina.
Paige
Paige
Butters. What I saw was Carolina tried to play bully ball. They weren't scoring on the inside. They really weren't shooting the ball from the outside like that. And UConn was just playing great.
Actually, UConn was playing. They was the bully because, like I said, Strong. She set the tone. She had that defense. They didn't have no. Carolina didn't have no low post present. And Strong, she was a double machine.
And that's why I said we were trying to be the bully, but we weren't able to bully while UConn was just hitting shots. They were doing some bullying, but they were just hitting shots. Fudders was she was hot.
Yeah.
That girl was amazing. And another thing,
your girl is transferring.
Malaysia Fuwali is transferring, and what I want to say about that is we love Lele. Lele is one of our favorite players, but nobody's bigger than the program, and that's any program, especially when you run a program like
that.
South Carolina, UConn, those type of programs. And another thing I want to say about Fuwali transferring is, unless you're transferring to somewhere like UConn or USC,
you contending for a chip.
USC, one of these schools.
Don't sit here and turn around. You leave for the money and you go to a school and we don't hear nothing from you.
Because unless you're transferring to one of these schools, all you doing is what it was, she didn't like her role. But when you play with the team like this, if you're not clicking, because she had games where she wasn't clicking.
She playing street ball, and you can't do that.
And I love Lele. Love Lele. Everybody loves Lele.
She got to move the flashy moves and stuff like that, but sometimes
control. It got to be controlled.
Got to be controlled with it. And she's not.
And her attitude. Attitude is another thing. You have to be able to fit into these situations. And I kind of knew the writing was on the wall when, after the girls lost and they went out and got the girl from Florida State, the #1 scorer in the country, I was like, yeah, Blaze are probably up out of here.
Well, they probably had conversation. Either they mutually agreed to that and everything.
I can see a mutual, but like you said, don't go to another school and think you're getting ready to be like.
You better be contending and shine.
Because you chose to leave. This isn't what they made you do. You chose to leave.
Your girl from from point guard was talking about from Notre Dame. She's going to TCU. TCU
How
kicking
long
out
is
that
what
money.
you call it going to be there? Van Lit. Does she got
out.
another year?
Gone.
She gone?
She gone. She been.
I don't know if I was transferred.
She been in school for 5 years. I think 5 or 6 years.
Then I don't know if I was transferred.
She went to 3 schools.
And I mean, you want
why not? She's a hell of a basketball player at Notre Dame, so she gonna fit level. She better than your girl you just talking about.
Malaysia?
No. Malaysia not going.
Van Lit.
She's the young lady I'm talking about. She's transferring to
#5, right?
Yeah, with the glasses. She's transferring from Notre Dame going to TCU.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of movement going on. Then,
yeah, the women portal jumping. The women's portal is jumping.
Look,
I ain't said nothing about the men's yet.
That's why I was like, we're going to roll back. We're going to come back to this. We got to give the University of Florida. Did anybody watch the game?
Yeah,
I watched it.
It was good. It came down to the last second. So
I thought Houston had it.
I think the only problem I had with it was how the referees was calling the game. Because the first half, they didn't call little to no fouls. So that's the reason why the game was kind of mucked up, which that played in Houston's favor. Then the second half came in, they was calling fouls. The whole calling situation, because that was the main topic where it was talked about, like how y'all didn't call little to no fouls the first half, and the second half went ham And on top of that, Florida got majority of the foul calls. Now, granted, Houston had their chances to win. I think they got caught up in the moment because you didn't even get off a good shot. You didn't get off a shot, period. So I think it'll be nothing worse to where you had an opportunity to win, you couldn't even get off a shot.
Can I say Florida came out of nowhere to win this chip?
No.
They didn't?
I didn't have Florida on my bingo card to win a chip.
You talking about now? Why is that? And you ain't been paying attention throughout the season how they were playing in the SEC? You know the SEC had
the SEC was stacked. Yeah,
they
were
stacked.
Had got
like
for South
7
Carolina.
teams, and so right, exactly.
Except for the
so that's what I'm saying. Like,
stacked.
I'm like, how you didn't know that? They've been busting Kentucky, Alabama, all they asses. So they beat
you ain't been
Auburn,
paying
too.
attention.
I guess I just had my Duke.
Been paying attention.
I guess Duke was just had me
colorblind.
Yeah. Had me
Florida. That's what most of the people overall favors between Florida and Duke.
Florida and Duke.